Let's talk about the history of flight. Since the beginning of recorded history, humans have had two dreams: to fly and to kill each other. People have been hitting each other with rocks and sticks for thousands of years, but when government money was put towards aviation, the speed of development was incredible. The Chinese took an early lead in both aviation and war. They made the first recorded heavier-than-air flying machines out of bent whale bones. And of course, they also invented gunpowder. Well, the gunpowder idea worked, but whales can't fly very far, so the French thought it would be better to try lighter-than-air flight. They tried strapping a steam engine to a hot air balloon and flying that around. This is the first recorded piston engine in flight, but it didn't work very well either. So the Chinese and Europeans were working hard, but the Americans didn't want to get left out. The Wright brothers had the great idea of trying to fly using a gasoline engine, but everything they could find was still too heavy. So they called their local bicycle shop and ordered a custom airplane engine. It was 1903, so their engine was on back order and had to be custom built, but still, in just 6 weeks they had their new engine. It put out 12 horsepower and weighed 180 pounds, just right to balance the pilot. It was a 4-cylinder, aluminum block, spark ignition, water-cooled gasoline engine, just like most modern cars, and the age of powered flight had truly begun. Just in time, too. World War I would start in 1914, so that barely gave 10 years to make a good airplane to kill people with. Lots of ideas for engines were tried, but the rotary radial engine was the design of the day, and airplanes like the Sopwith Camel ruled the skies. After World War I ended, the military need for aircraft declined. However, the government soon realized that flying mail across the country was way faster than horses, and companies like Boeing and Douglas built new airplanes to carry mail and even the occasional passenger. They needed better engines, and the static radial was born. These were way better engines. They flew better and were much more reliable. In 1927, Charles Lindbergh got the bright idea to strap one to a gas tank and fly across the Atlantic solo. He almost didn't make it, but the engine ran reliably for over 33 hours. World War II arrived and military money poured back into aviation. This was the golden age of piston engines. They got bigger and better, and the most powerful gasoline engines ever built come from that era. The skies of the 1940s were filled with huge radial and V12 engines. In 1945, World War II ended, and aircraft piston engine development slowed. By the 1950s, aviation was about to see its next big change. Jet engines were finally looking like the best way to kill people, and military money left piston engines and went towards engineering the jet age of aviation. So there you have it. If you are trying to remember aviation history, a really easy way to do it is to tie it to the World Wars. From toy helicopters powered by bent whale bones, to our first controlled flights in 1903 was a long, slow road, but by World War I we had fighter aircraft in the skies. From the rag and tube airplanes of World War I to the amazing aircraft of World War II took less than 20 years, but by 1950 the age of the giant piston engines was almost over. Since then, aviation piston engines have barely evolved at all as development money went into gas turbines. Just follow the money and the wars, and aviation history is pretty easy.